You know what they said about you. They said you couldn't do it. They said you weren't smart enough. They said you didn't have what it takes. Some of them even laughed at you. And maybe for a moment you believed them. Maybe for a second you looked in the mirror and doubted yourself. But let me tell you something. Every single person who ever did something great, whoever broke barriers, whoever left a legacy, they all heard the same thing. You can't. And you know what they did? They went out and proved them wrong. They didn't let other people's opinions define their destiny. They didn't let negativity control their outcome. They turned that doubt into fuel, that pain into power, and that rejection into a reason to grind harder. When they said you couldn't, they gave you a gift. The gift of fire, the gift of hunger. Because nothing in this world tastes sweeter than proving the doubters wrong. You don't need to tell them. You don't need to argue with them. Let your results speak louder than their words. So the next time somebody tells you what you can't do, don't waste time trying to convince them. Don't waste time defending yourself. Just go out there and do it. And when you succeed, when you win, when you rise up and shine, they'll have no choice but to watch. Remember, you're not here to fit into their box. You're here to break out, to level up, and to show the world that every you can and becomes a you did. So lock in, focus, outwork them, outlast them, and prove them wrong. They told you that you couldn't do it. They looked you in the eye, maybe even laughed at you and told you flat out that it was impossible. In that moment, you had two choices. You could let their words crush you, or you could take that doubt, take that disrespect, and turn it into gasoline. You could let it burn so deep inside you that every morning when you wake up, it pushes you to grind, to fight, to get up when you don't feel like it, to stay up when everybody else is sleeping, to put in hours that nobody else sees. That's what turning doubt into fuel is all about. It's about taking the energy of negativity and flipping it, taking what they meant for harm and using it to light a fire under you so hot that quitting isn't even an option. See, the problem with most people is they hear doubts and they let it slow them down. They start believing it, so believing it. They start thinking maybe they're right. Maybe I don't have what it takes. Maybe I'm not built for this. And once you let that seed of doubt grow, it strangles your dream before it ever had a chance. But I need you to hear me on this. What if doubt isn't a curse? What if it's a blessing? What if that doubt is the very thing that can push you past average, past ordinary, into extraordinary? Because when you hear them say you can't, what they're really doing is handing you a weapon, and it's up to you how you use it. Think about it. Look back at history. Look back at anybody who ever did anything worth remembering. People doubted them. They doubted Muhammad Ali, said he was too loud, too arrogant, said he couldn't back it up. What did he do? He trained harder, fought harder, proved it in the ring every single time. They doubted Oprah Winfrey, said she didn't look right for television, said she didn't have the face or the presence. What did she do? She became one of the most powerful voices on the planet. They doubted Michael Jordan when he got cut from his high school team. They doubted Elon Musk when he said he was going to send rockets into space. They doubted every single person who rose to greatness. And the common denominator is this: they didn't let the doubt destroy them. They used it as motivation to go harder. I remember when I was homeless, sleeping in an abandoned building, eating out of trash cans, and people doubted me. Teachers doubted me. Friends doubted me. Society doubted me. Society doubted me. And in those moments, I had a choice. I could sit there and accept it. Accept that I was nothing. Accept that my life was going to be the way it started. No, this doubt is fuel. Every single time they told me I couldn't, I said, watch me. Watch me get up earlier than you. Watch me stay up later than you. Watch me stay up later than you. Watch me put in the work day after day after day until this doubt is gone. Until there's no question left. And I need you to do the same. Stop letting what people say about you break you. Stop giving their words power over your destiny. You think because they doubt you, it means you're not capable? No, listen to me. It means you're on the right track. It means you're aiming at something big enough that it scares people. If nobody doubts you, your dream is too small. If nobody tells you you can't, then you're not even pushing hard enough. The presence of doubt means you're stretching. You're reaching, you're chasing after something that's bigger than you. But here's the key. It only works if you flip it. If you let doubt sit on your shoulders, it weigh you down. But if you flip, if you say, oh, you think I can, bet. You think I won't? Watch. If you flip it, then it becomes fire in your chest. It becomes that voice that wakes you up before the alarm clock. It becomes that reminder when you want to quit. It becomes that little whisper that says, keep going. They say you couldn't. Now show them that you can. And I know it's not easy. I know some of you are carrying doubt from people you love, from people you thought would always believe in you. It hurts different when it comes from your own family, your own friends, your own circle. It hurts when the people closest to you are the ones saying you can't. But let me tell you something. The people who doubt you aren't always your enemies. Sometimes they're just reflecting their own fears, their own limitations. Sometimes they don't believe in themselves. So how could they ever believe in you? That's why you can't take it personal. You can't let it stop you. Instead, you gotta say, I thank you for doubting me, because now I've got the fuel I need to keep pushing. When I think about fuel, I think about a car. A car without fuel doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't matter how nice it looks, how shiny the paint is, how big the engine is. Without fuel, it's not moving. And the same goes for you. You can have the talent, you can have the vision, you can have the dream, but without fuel, without motivation, without that drop, you're not going anywhere. And sometimes life gives you fuel in the form of pain. Sometimes life gives you fuel in the form of failure. Fuel in the form of failure. Sometimes life gives you fuel in the form of doubt. But either way, it's fuel. And if you're smart, you won't complain about it. You use it. Some of you right now, you've been doubted your whole life. They say you weren't smart enough to pass that class. They say you weren't talented enough to make the team. They say you weren't strong enough to handle the job. And maybe you started to believe them. But I came here to tell you today, stop believing the lies. Stop drinking the poison. Start using it. Every insult, every rejection, every you can't, take it and stack it like wood on a fire. And when that fire burns, let it burn so hot that it melts every obstacle in your way. Because here's the truth. Nobody gets to decide your destiny except you. Nobody else gets the final say. Doubt is just noise. Doubt is just air. Doubt is just somebody else's fear dressed up as advice. You can choose to listen to it, or you can choose to let it push you forward. So the next time someone doubts you, don't argue with them. Don't waste your energy trying to convince them. Don't go back and forth trying to prove yourself with words. Just nod your head, smile, and let it sink in. And then get to work. Get to work earlier than everybody else. Stay later, put in the extra reps. Study longer, hustle harder. Because when the results come, when the success shows up, when the dream becomes reality, you won't even have to say a word. They'll see it. They'll know. And the same people who doubted you will be forced to respect you, not because you told them, but because you showed them. And let me tell you something. There's no greater satisfaction in this world than proving people wrong through action. There is no greater feeling than standing on top of the mountain they told you never climb, holding the victory in your hands, knowing deep inside that every single doubt they threw at you became a brick in your foundation. That every single time they said you could, you turned it into another reason why you did. So don't run from doubt. Don't hide from it. Don't get discouraged when you hear it. Embrace it. Welcome it. Because it's the best kind of fuel you'll ever have. People spend so much time trying to prove themselves with words. They want to convince everybody that they're worthy, that they're capable, that they can make it happen. But let me ask you something. What good are words without action? What good is it to argue with somebody about your potential when the truth is, potential is nothing without execution? People don't believe in you. That's fine. People doubt you. That's cool. Stop talking, stop arguing, stop trying to get them to understand and just do it. Just execute. Because at the end of the day, execution is louder than words. Execution is proof. Execution doesn't need a debate, doesn't need approval, doesn't need applause. It just speaks. We live in a world full of people who are addicted to talking. They talk about what they're going to do. They talk about their dreams. They talk about how one day they're going to start. They talk about what they'll accomplish when things line up perfectly, but they never actually get to it. They never take that first step. They never move from talking to executing. And I'm telling you right now, talk is cheap, but execution is priceless. Execution separates the average from the elite. Execution separates the dreamers from the doers. You don't have to convince anybody that you're serious if your work shows it. See, the reason you argue is because you want validation. You want people to believe in you, you want people to cheer you on. But the reality is, the world doesn't give you points for effort. The world gives you respect for results. And the only way to get results is execution. That means when everybody else is sitting around debating, you're in the lab working. When everybody else is trying to get likes on social media, you're building something real. When everybody else is still explaining, you're showing. Think about the greatest athletes, the greatest business leaders, the greatest creators. They didn't spend time arguing with doubters. They didn't go back and forth trying to convince people. They just worked. Michael Jordan didn't sit there and argue with his high school coach when he got cut. He went to the court, put in the hours, and became the best in the world. Beyoncé didn't waste her breath trying to convince people she was talented enough. She stayed in rehearsal, stayed perfecting her craft, and now her name alone silences critics. Steve Jobs didn't argue with the people who said Apple would fail. Just kept creating, kept executing, and his work is still talking decades later. When you execute, you don't need to argue. Your results become your voice. They become your evidence. And listen to me. People can argue with your words, but they can't argue with your results. They can tell you your dream is unrealistic, but when they see you living it, they can't deny it. They can laugh at you when you start, but when you finish, they'll have no choice but to respect you. That's why you don't waste your time going back and forth. You take that energy and put it into your grind. I remember when I started speaking, nobody believed in me. People told me I didn't have the credentials. People told me I wasn't polished enough, I wasn't professional enough. They wanted to put me in a box, wanted me to sound like everybody else. And I could have spent years arguing with them, trying to prove I had what it takes, but I didn't. I just executed. I spoke in schools, in churches, on the streets, wherever I could. I stayed consistent. I stayed hungry. And over time, my results started speaking for me. And the same people who said I could, the same people who doubted me, had to sit down and watch me rise. Not because I argued, but because I executed. So many of you are wasting valuable time and energy trying to prove yourself to people who don't matter. People who will never support you anyway. People who wouldn't understand your vision even if you explained it 100 times. And the truth is, their approval doesn't build your dream. Their belief doesn't pay your bills. Their validation doesn't move you forward. Your execution does. Your execution is the only thing that moves the needle. That's why you gotta stop defending yourself. Stop explaining yourself. Stop debating with people who don't even have what you want. Put your head down and put in the work. Execution means you do it whether people clap or not. Execution means you stay committed even when nobody's watching. Execution means you don't need the spotlight. You don't need the attention. You don't need the recognition. You just need to get it done. And the beautiful thing about execution is that eventually the results speak for themselves. You don't have to chase validation because success attracts attention all on its own. People may doubt you today, but if you keep executing, tomorrow they'll be quoting you, following you, asking you how you did it. And here's the thing, execution isn't glamorous. It's not shiny. It's not about the big moments. Execution happens in the grind, in the repetition, in the consistency. It's waking up early when you don't feel like it. It's staying up late when you rather sleep. It's doing the boring stuff, the unsexy stuff, the invisible stuff that nobody claps for. That's execution. And most people don't have the discipline for it. They want the results, but they don't want the grind. They want the praise, but they don't want the process. That's why so many people talk big, but never deliver. They argue, but they don't execute. You have to make a decision. Do you want to talk about it, or do you want to be about it? Because you can't do both. You can't spend your life trying to convince people and at the same time build something great. One of them has to go. And if you're serious, you let go of the talking and you focus on the execution. You stop caring who believes in you because you believe in yourself. You stop needing the applause because the results will be your applause. Think about it like this. When an architect builds a skyscraper, they don't argue with the city about whether it's possible. They just build it. And when it's standing tall, when it's shining against the skyline, nobody can argue with that. Nobody can deny what's right in front of them. That's execution. And that's what your life has to look like. Let your results be your skyscraper. Let your results be your proof. I'm telling you, some of you are this close to breaking through, but you're still wasting energy trying to explain yourself, and it's slowing you down. You've got to cut that off. You've got to channel all that energy into action. Because the sooner you stop arguing and start executing, the sooner you'll see results. And once the results come, the arguments won't even matter anymore. Execution is what separates the ones who make it from the ones who don't. Talent doesn't guarantee success. Intelligence doesn't guarantee success. Even vision doesn't guarantee success. The only thing that guarantees success is execution. Day in, day out, putting in the work, even when it's hard, even when it's boring, even when nobody's watching. That's how you get from talking about it to living it. So the next time somebody doubts you, the next time somebody tries to belittle your dream, don't waste time with words. Don't go back and forth. Just smile, say nothing, and go to work. Go execute. Because when you execute, you don't have to say a thing. Your success will say everything for you. Rejection hurts. Nobody likes to be told no. Nobody enjoys having the door slammed in their face. Nobody wants to feel like they weren't chosen, weren't good enough, weren't what somebody else was looking for. But let me tell you something. Rejection is not the end of the road. Rejection is not a stop sign. Rejection is not failure. Rejection is redirection. It's life's way of saying that's not where you're supposed to be. That's not your door. That's not your lane. That's not your assignment. And if you can shift your mindset, if you can stop seeing rejection as death and start seeing it as guidance, it will change your life. When I was young, I didn't understand that. Every time somebody told me no, every time I got turned away, every time I felt excluded, I thought something was wrong with me. I thought I wasn't good enough. I thought I wasn't good enough. I thought I didn't measure up. Maybe you've been applying for jobs and all you hear is, oh, we're not interested. Maybe you've been working on your dream and people keep shutting doors. Maybe you've been pouring your heart into relationships or opportunities only to get pushed away, and it's eating at you. It's making you doubt yourself. But what if I told you that rejection is not punishment, it's protection? What if I told you that rejection is not about what you're missing, but about where you're being redirected? Sometimes the no you hear is actually God's way of saving you from something that wasn't meant for you. That job you didn't get, it wasn't because you weren't capable. It was because there was another path, another opportunity, another place where your gifts would be valued more. That relationship that fell apart, it wasn't because you weren't worthy. It was because you needed to grow, needed to heal, needed to wait for someone who matched your purpose. That door that closed, it wasn't your door. And if you spend all your time crying over closed doors, you'll miss the open ones. See, most people get stuck because they personalize rejection. They take it as an attack on their identity. They let one know erase their confidence, erase their drive, erase their belief. But rejection is not about who you are. It's about where you're going. It's about alignment. It's about being put in the right place at the right time for the right purpose. And if you understood that, you wouldn't run from rejection. You'd embrace it. You'd say, thank you. You realize every time somebody said no, it just pushed you closer to the yes that really matters. Think about it. How many times in your life has a rejection led you to something better? How many times did you want something so bad, only to realize later that it wouldn't have been good for you? Oh. How many times did you get told no, only to discover a yes that changed everything? If you're honest, you'll see the pattern. Life doesn't close doors to punish you. It closes them to redirect you. Michael Jordan got cut from his high school basketball team, rejection. But that rejection redirected him into working harder, hungrier, more disciplined. That rejection was fuel. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper job because they said he lacked imagination. But that rejection redirected him toward building an empire of imagination that would outlive him. Poultrism. Oprah was told she wasn't fit for television. Rejection. That rejection redirected her into becoming one of the most influential voices in the world. Every great story has rejection in it. But here's the key. The rejection was never the ending. It was the turning point. It was the redirection that took them from ordinary to extraordinary. And the same thing can happen for you. Only if you stop letting rejection break you and instead let it guide you. I remember when I was trying to get speaking gigs and I called schools, organizations, and I would get turned down again and again. They didn't want me. They said no. And for a minute, I thought maybe I wasn't cut out for this. But then I realized every no was just preparing me for the right yes. And when that yes finally came, I was ready. I was stronger. I was sharper. I was hungrier. That's what rejection does. It prepares you. It redirects you. It makes sure you don't settle too soon. Some of you right now, you're crying over rejection. You're replaying it in your mind, wondering what's wrong with you, why they didn't choose you. And you don't realize that while you're stuck looking back, life is trying to push you forward. You're so focused on the door that closed, you can't see the one that just opened. You're so busy asking why they said no, you're missing the yes. That's right around the corner. Stop wasting time on what didn't work out. Stop wasting energy on who walked away. If they rejected you, it's because they weren't your people, they weren't your opportunity, they weren't your lane. Your job is not to force yourself where you don't belong. Your job is to keep moving until you find where you do. Rejection is redirection, but it's also refinement. Sometimes rejection comes because you weren't ready yet. Sometimes you needed to develop more discipline, more skill, more maturity. Sometimes the no was just a pause button, a way of saying, not yet. And if you can accept that, you'll see rejection differently. Instead of getting bitter, you'll get better. Instead of giving up, you'll grow up. Instead of quitting, you'll keep grinding. Because you know the rejection isn't forever. It's just part of the process. That's why you can't give up when you get rejected. You can't throw in a towel because somebody told you no. You can't let one door close and make you abandon your dream. You gotta keep knocking. You've gotta keep moving. You've gotta believe that every no is just a step toward the right yes. The difference between people who succeed and people who quit isn't that one group never faced rejection. It's that the successful ones didn't let rejection stop them. They took the no, they learned from it, they grew from it, and they kept moving. They understood rejection wasn't the final answer. It was just redirection. I need you to stop seeing rejection as a dead end and start seeing it as a detour, because that's all it is. You're still going to get to your destination. It just might not be the route you thought. And honestly, the new route might be better. It might teach you things, show you things, connect you with people you never would have met if you got your way the first time. That's the beauty of rejection. It reroutes you to where you're meant to be. So the next time you hear no, don't break down. Don't quit. Don't get stuck. Ask yourself, where am I being redirected? Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? You want to ask yourself, what door is about to open because this one closed? Shift your focus from rejection to redirection, and you'll see everything differently. Because here's the truth. You were never meant to stop at the first no. You were never meant to give up at the first sign of rejection. You were meant to keep going until you found the place, the people, the opportunity that fits you. And when you get there, when you look back, you'll thank every single rejection that pushed you in the right direction. Everybody wants success. Everybody wants to shine. Everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to be celebrated. But let me ask you, are you willing to go through the pain that comes with it? Because what people don't tell you is that greatness isn't born in comfort, it's born in pain. Power doesn't come from everything going right. Power comes from everything going wrong, and you refusing to quit. Pain is the price you pay to become strong. Pain is the tuition you pay for greatness. And if you can learn to embrace pain, to endure it, to flip it, you'll discover that pain isn't your enemy. It's your weapon. The problem with most people is they run from pain. The second it hurts, the second it gets uncomfortable, they tap out. They think pain is a signal to stop. But champions know pain is a signal to keep going. Champions know pain is proof that they're growing. Champions know pain is the pathway to power. Every rep in the gym that burns, every late night when you're tired, every rejection that cuts deep, that's pain molding you into somebody unbreakable. Look at nature. Diamonds are made under pressure. Gold is purified through fire. Steel is forged in heat. Everything valuable has to go through something painful before it becomes great. Why do you think you should be any different? Why do you think you can skip the pain and still have the power? It doesn't work that way. You don't get the crown without the cross. You don't get the reward without the struggle. You don't get the glory without the grind. I remember when I was sleeping in abandoned buildings, when I was hungry, when I was broke. That was pain. That was me at the bottom. And I wanted to quit. I wanted to give up. But I learned something in those dark moments. That pain was shaping me. That pain was teaching me how to fight. That pain was making me hungry, making me disciplined, making me relentless. And today when I speak, when I push people, when I inspire, the power you hear in my voice didn't come from success. It came from pain. My pain became my power. You think the struggle you're going through right now is punishment. You think life is unfair. You think the pain is a sign that you're not supposed to make it. But I came to tell you, it's the opposite. The pain you're going through is the training ground. It's the weight room. It's the fire that's going to make you unstoppable. Stop running from it. Stop avoiding it. Learn to carry it. Learn to use it. Some of you are in pain right now. Maybe it's financial. Maybe it's emotional. Maybe it's physical. Maybe it's spiritual. And you're asking, why me? But instead of asking, why me? Ask, what is this teaching me? Instead of asking, why is this happening? Ask, how can I use this? Because the truth is, the most powerful people you admire didn't escape pain. They transformed it. They took pain and turned it into fuel. They took pain and turned it into purpose. Think about it. Martin Luther King Jr. endured pain. He was hated, attacked, imprisoned. He was hated. But his pain gave him a voice that still echoes decades later. Nelson Mandela sat in prison for 27 years. Pain. But that pain gave him the strength, the patience, the perspective to lead a nation. Malala Yousafzai was shot for trying to get an education. Pain. But that pain became her platform to speak for millions of girls worldwide. If they had run from pain, if they had let pain break them, we wouldn't even know their names. But they endured it, and that endurance gave them power. Your story is no different. The pain you've been through, the pain you're going through is not wasted. It's not meaningless. It's equipping you. It's building you. It's preparing you. But you have to make the choice. You can let pain paralyze you, or you can let it power you. You can let pain make you bitter, or you can let it make you better. You can let pain break you, or you can let it build you. And let me be clear, pain doesn't feel good. Nobody likes it. I'm not telling you to enjoy it. I'm telling you to endure it. I'm telling you to survive it. I'm telling you to keep going even when it hurts. Because if you stop every time it hurts, you'll never grow. If you stop every time it hurts, you'll never know how strong you are. If you stop every time it hurts, you'll never taste victory. Pain is the test to see how bad you really want it. You say you want success. Are you willing to hurt for it? You say you want the dream. Are you willing to bleed for it? You say you want to be great. Are you willing to suffer for it? Because greatness and pain are inseparable. You can't have one without the other. When you look at the bodybuilders, the athletes, the entrepreneur, the leader, you see the highlight reel. You see the success. But what you don't see are the nights they cried, the failures they endured, the betrayals they overcame, the long hours, the sleepless nights, the sacrifices. That's the pain behind the power. And if you want the power, you've got to embrace the pain. The truth is, pain is part of the process. And it's proof that you're pushing past your limits. You don't grow in comfort zones. You don't level up when everything is easy. You grow when it hurts. You grow when you fail. You grow when you're stretched, when you're broken, when you're under pressure. That's where the transformation happens. Some of you keep asking for strength, but you don't want struggle. Some of you keep asking for growth, but you don't want grind. Some of you keep asking for power, but you don't want pain. It doesn't work like that. Every rep that hurts in the gym is what builds muscle. Every setback that hurts in life is what builds character. Every heartbreak, every loss, every failure is making you stronger if you let it. So don't despise the pain. Don't curse it. Don't let it make you quit. Flip it. Use it. Let the pain remind you why you started. So the pain remind you what's at stake. Let the pain remind you that you're still alive, still fighting, still in the game. Because one day that pain is going to be your testimony. One day you're going to look back and say, that almost broke me, but it made me who I am. That almost killed me, but it gave me my strength. That almost destroyed me, but it gave me my destiny. Pain becomes power when you stop running and start embracing it. Pain becomes power when you stop asking for the easy way and start enduring the hard way. Pain becomes power when you realize that every tear, every scar, every wound is shaping you into the person you need to become to handle the blessing that's coming. I'm telling you, your pain has purpose. Your pain has potential. Your pain has power. And if you don't quit, if you don't give up, if you don't run, that pain will transform you into somebody unstoppable. Everywhere you turn, there's noise. People talking, opinions flying, distractions pulling you in every direction. Everybody's got something to say about your life, your dream, your choices. Some people think they know what's best for you. Some people doubt you, criticize you, laugh at you. Others try to pull you into their drama, their chaos, their negativity. And if you're not careful, that noise will drown out your vision. That noise will suffocate your dream. That noise will confuse you until you forget why you even started. That's why you've got to learn to silence the noise. Silencing the noise doesn't mean people stop talking. They'll never stop. Haters will always hate. Doubters will always doubt. Critics will always criticize. Noise isn't going away. Silencing the noise means you learn to tune it out. You learn to block it. You learn to focus so deeply on your purpose, your grind, your mission, that the noise fades into the background. Because the truth is, you can't control what people say, but you can control what you listen to. You can't control how loud the world gets, but you can control what you let into your spirit. You know why most people never reach their full potential? It's not because they don't have the talent. It's not because they don't have the resources. It's because they let too much noise in. They let other people's opinions weigh more than their own belief. They let social media distract them, distract them. They let gossip, negativity, and fear live rent-free in their mind. And the whole time, their dream is sitting there waiting, but they can't hear it because of all the noise. You've got to decide that your focus is worth more than their chatter. You've got to decide that your vision is louder than their voices. You've got to decide that no matter how much noise comes your way, you will not be moved. Because silence isn't about the absence of sound. It's about the presence of clarity. And when you get clear, when you know exactly who you are, what you want, and why you're grinding, the noise won't matter anymore. Think about an athlete. When they step onto the court, into the ring, onto the field, there are thousands of people screaming, some cheering, some booing. But the great ones don't get distracted. They tune it out. They zone in. They lock into the game, into the play, into the mission. That's why Kobe called it the Mamba mentality. That's why Jordan looked like he was in another world when he played. They heard the noise, but they didn't let it dictate their moves. They silenced it by focusing on execution. That's what you've got to do with your life. Every time somebody doubts you, silence the noise with action. Every time somebody talks behind your back, silence the noise with consistency. Every time negativity shows up, silence it with discipline. You don't have to argue. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to clap back. Just silence it with results. Because results are the loudest voice in the room and they never lie. When I was grinding in the beginning, people had all kinds of things to say. Eric, you talk too loud. Eric, you'll never make it. Eric, you don't have the education. Eric, you don't fit the mold. That was the noise. And for a while it got to me. For a while I thought maybe they were right. But then I realized if I keep listening to the noise, I'll never hear my calling. If I keep listening to the noise, I'll never reach my destiny. So I made a decision to block it out. I stopped needing their approval. I stopped needing their validation. I stopped letting their opinions weigh me down. And once I silenced the noise, I could hear myself again. I could hear the grind calling. I could hear the purpose speaking. Some of you, that's your problem right now. You're too tuned into the noise. You're checking your phone every 5 minutes to see what people think. You're scrolling through other people's lives, comparing yourself, questioning yourself. You're letting gossip from family and friends dictate your moves. And deep down, you know it's killing you. It's slowing you down. It's stealing your focus. You can't keep living like that. You got to silence the noise. And silencing the noise isn't just about ignoring people. Sometimes the loudest noise is in your own head. Sometimes it's that voice that tells you you're not good enough, that you'll never make it, that you're wasting your time. That voice is noise too. And if you don't silence it, it'll stop you before you even start. So how do you silence it? With belief, with work, With faith, you silence it by reminding yourself every single day that you are capable, that you are worthy, that you are chosen. You silence it by doing the work and proving to yourself that you've got what it takes. Noise will always be there. Distractions will always be there. People will always have something to say. But you've got to be so focused, so locked in, that none of it matters. You've got to create a tunnel vision so strong that you can't even hear the noise anymore. Because when you're locked in, nothing outside can touch you. When you're locked in, you don't care about claps. You don't care about criticism. You don't care about comparison. You just care about execution. I want you to think about a lion. A lion doesn't care what the jungle is saying. A lion doesn't care what the other animals are whispering. A lion doesn't care about the noise. A lion knows who it is. A lion knows it's the king. And because it knows, it doesn't need to roar all day to prove it. It just moves with confidence, hunts with focus, and rules with authority. That's the kind of mindset you need. Stop letting noise make you question your identity. Stop letting noise shake your confidence. Be like the lion. Know who you are and walk in it. When you silence the noise, something powerful happens. You start to hear the right things. You start to hear the right things. You start to hear your inner voice. You start to hear your purpose. You start to hear the call that's been buried under the chaos. And once you hear it, once you lock in, nothing can stop you. Because clarity is power. Focus is power. And you can't have either if you're drowning in noise. Some of you are one decision away from breaking through, but the noise has you stuck. You're too busy listening to everybody else. You're too distracted by the chaos around you. You gotta cut it off. You gotta unplug from the nonsense. You gotta limit your access to negativity. You've got to create space where you can focus, think, work, and grind. Silence the noise. And you'll be shocked how much progress you make. Noises are everywhere, but it doesn't have to control you. You can control what you tune into. You can control who you listen to. You can control how much access people have to your mind. Protect your focus. Guard your peace. Defend your dream. Because once you silence the noise, you'll hear what matters most. And that's the voice inside of you telling you to keep going. Keep grinding. Keep pushing no matter what. Everybody wants the prize, but nobody wants to put in the grind. Everybody loves the idea of success, but not everybody loves the process. The grind is ugly. The grind is dirty. The grind is lonely. The grind is uncomfortable. But the grind is where greatness is born. You don't get to skip it. You don't get to bypass it. You don't get to shortcut it. If you want to be somebody, if you want to change your life, if you want to rise to the next level, you've got to focus on the grind. Focus means blocking everything else out. Focus means no distractions, no excuses, no half effort. Focus means when you wake up, you know exactly why you're up. You're not just up because the alarm went off. You're up because the dream won't let you sleep. You're up because the grind is calling you, because the future is waiting on you, because the opportunity is passing by and you refuse to miss it. That's what it means to focus on the grind. Most people don't fail because they're not capable. They fail because they don't stay focused long enough. They start, then they stop. They grind for a week. Then they quit. Their distractions pull them off course. They let negativity drain their energy. They let comfort seduce them back into average. But the grind doesn't reward the occasional effort. It rewards consistency. It rewards the ones who show up every single day, no matter what. You've got to fall in love with the grind. You've got to stop looking at the grind as punishment and start looking at it as privilege, because every rep, every mile, every hour, every sacrifice is taking you closer to the dream. Every sweat drop is an investment. Every hard day is a deposit. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you're building equity in your future. And one day, that grind is going to pay you back with interest. But it only pays those who stay focused. You can't just count on one end. You can't just grind when it's convenient. You can't just grind when you feel like it. You got to grind when it's hard. You got to grind when it hurts. You got to grind when nobody's watching, when nobody's clapping, when nobody's checking in. Because the grind doesn't care about applause. The grind only cares about effort. Focus on the grind means cutting out the noise. While everybody else is partying, you're grinding. While everybody else is sleeping, you're grinding. While everybody else is talking about their dreams, you're putting in the work to live yours. Focus on the grind means you stop making excuses. You stop blaming your circumstances. You stop waiting for the perfect time. There will never be a perfect time. The grind doesn't wait for perfect. It demands you show up now. There's a difference between interest and commitment. Interested people grind when it's easy. Committed people grind no matter what. Interested people look for shortcuts. Committed people embrace the process. Interested people quit when it gets hard. Committed people double down when it gets hard. If you're going to make it, you can't just be interested in success. You gotta be committed to the grind. And here's the truth, grinding isn't glamorous. You're going to be tired. You're going to be sore. You're going to question yourself. You're going to feel like nobody sees your effort. Nobody appreciates your hustle. Nobody cares about your sacrifice. But that's what the grind is. It's not supposed to be glamorous. It's supposed to test you. It's supposed to stretch you. It's supposed to strip away your excuses and show you what you're really made of. Every champion you've ever admired got there through grind. Every millionaire you respect got there through grind. Every legacy you celebrate was built on grind. They all had the same choice you had, to quit or to keep grinding. The only reason their names are remembered is because they chose to focus on the grind long after other people gave up. You want freedom? Grind. You want success? Grind. You want respect? Grind. You want legacy? Grind. There's no other way. You can't buy it. You can't fake it. You can't cheat it. You gotta earn it in the grind. And let me tell you this, the grind isn't just about working hard. It's about working hard. It's about working smart. It's about structure. It's about setting a standard for yourself that says, I will not settle for less. I will not take shortcuts. I will not let distractions steal my dream. Focus on the grind means you can get organized. You plan your day. You schedule your time. You prioritize the urgent. Because if you don't run your grind will run you. The grind will ask you to give up things. It will ask you to sacrifice sleep, comfort, and sometimes relationships. It will ask you to say no when everybody else is saying yes. It will ask you to delay gratification, to wait, to keep building when it looks like nothing is happening. And that's where most people tap out. That's where most people quit. But if you stay focused, if you keep pushing, if you keep grinding when it's hardest, that's when you separate yourself from the pack. There's a reason why they say pressure makes diamonds. Diamonds aren't formed in comfort. They're formed in heat and pressure and grind, and you're the same way. If you keep running from the grind, you'll never shine. If you keep avoiding the pressure, you'll never become who you were meant to be. But if you embrace it, if you lean into it, if you focus on it with everything you got, you'll come out stronger, sharper, and unstoppable. Focus on the grind means making a choice every day. Do I want comfort or do I want change? Do I want easy or do I want elevation? Do I want average or do I want greatness? Because you can't have both. If you want greatness, you gotta be willing to grind when others won't. And listen, the grind is not a season. You don't grind for a week and think you're done. You don't grind for a month and think you've earned the prize. You grind until you hit the goal, until you break the barrier, until you create the life you dreamed of. And when you get there, you set a new standard and you keep grinding. Because the day you stop grinding is the day you start slipping back into average. Focus on the grind and everything else will take care of itself. The money, the success, the respect, the recognition, it all comes after the grind. But if you chase those things without the grind, you'll never get there. You've got to love the process more than the prize. You've got to show up every day, rain or shine, tired or energized, ready or not, and give everything you've got to the grind. Because when you focus on the grind, you can't lose. You might not win right away. You might not win right away. You might not win in the timeline you want, but you cannot lose. Because every day you grind, you get better. Every day you grind, you get stronger. Every day you grind, you get closer. And eventually, if you refuse to quit, if you stay locked in, if you stay focused, the grind will reward you in ways you can't even imagine. Everybody talks about wanting success, wanting freedom, wanting greatness. Everybody posts about grinding, about hustling, about chasing dreams. But when it comes down to it, very few people are actually willing to put in the kind of work it takes to separate themselves from the crowd. You don't get to be average and expect extraordinary. You don't get to do what everyone else is doing and expect a different result. If you want to rise to the top, if you want to win at the highest level, if you want your name to mean something when it's all said and done, you got to make a decision right now to outwork everybody. And I mean everybody, not just the people in your class, not just the people in your neighborhood, not just the people at your job. I'm talking about outworking everybody worldwide, across the board. Because when you set that kind of standard for yourself, when you decide that nobody is going to outgrind you, nobody is going to outlast you, nobody is going to outsacrifice you, then you step into a different league. You stop competing with other people and you start competing with your own limits. Outworking everybody doesn't mean you just work long hours. It means you work with intensity, with focus, with obsession. Some people put in hours, but they're distracted. They're sloppy, they're inconsistent. That's not outworking. That's just being busy. Outworking means you show up earlier, you stay later, and in between you maximize every single second. Outworking means when others are cutting corner, you're sharpening yours. Outworking means when others are scrolling, you're studying. When others are talking, you're training. When others are sleeping, you're scheming. You've got to develop a mentality that says, you might be smarter than me, you might have more connections than me, you might even have more talent than me, but you will never outwork me. Because hard work will beat talent every time gets lazy. Hard work will outlast luck. Hard work will outlast privilege. Hard work will outlast doubt. If you keep showing up and grinding when others quit, eventually the world has no choice but to recognize your effort. The truth is, most people don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they stop. They stop when it gets tough. They stop when it gets boring. They stop when the results don't show up fast enough. That's why outworking everybody is so powerful. Because while they stop, you keep going. While they complain, you keep grinding. While they look for shortcuts, you take the long road. And eventually, your consistency will outshine their excuses. Think about every legend, every champion, every great name in history. They weren't the only ones with talent. They weren't the only ones with a dream, but they were the ones who were willing to grind harder than anyone else. Michael Jordan wasn't just born with skill, he lived in the gym. Kobe Bryant wasn't just gifted, he was in the gym at 4 a.m. When others were sleeping, Eric Thomas himself didn't just wake up one day a world-renowned speaker. He was in the library. He was studying, he was practicing when nobody knew his name. They all made the same choice to outwork everybody. And that's the choice you've got to make today. Are you going to be average? Are you going to do just enough to get by? Are you going to let other people's efforts set the bar for you? Or are you going to raise your own bar so high that nobody can match your grind? Outworking everybody is not about comparison. It's about domination. It's about setting a standard for yourself so high that no matter who's watching, no matter what's happening, you know you left everything on the table. When you commit to outworking everybody, something shifts in your spirits, You stop making excuses. You stop waiting for motivation. You stop complaining about how hard it is because you realize that's the whole point. It's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. It's supposed to test you because if it was easy, everybody would do it. If it was easy, everybody would be successful, but it's not. That's why the grind belongs to the few, not the many. That's why greatness is reserved for those who are willing to do what others won't. Everybody's not going to see it. Everybody's not going to understand it. Everybody's not going to support it. That's the reality of having a vision. Your vision wasn't given to them. Your vision wasn't designed for them. Your vision is yours. And because it's yours, don't expect people to clap for it. Don't expect people to validate it. Don't expect people to believe in it. Most people won't. And that's okay, because your vision doesn't belong to them. It belongs to you. That's the mistake so many people make. They want everybody to agree, everybody to support, everybody to co-sign. And when they don't, they start to doubt themselves. They start to water down the dream, shrink the vision, adjust their passion just to make other people comfortable. But that's not how visions work. If they could see it the way you see it, it wouldn't be your vision. Visions are personal. They're private. They're tailor-made by God, by destiny, by purpose specifically for you. And sometimes that means you're the only one who sees it until it becomes real. Think about it. every innovator, every leader, every world changer, they all had to believe in a vision nobody else could see. When Thomas Edison said he could make light come from a bulb, people thought he was crazy. When the Wright brothers said they could fly, people laughed. When Steve Jobs talked about putting the world inside a little box in your hand, people doubted him. They couldn't see it, but Jobs saw it. Edison saw it. The Wright brothers saw it. And because they stuck with their vision, even when nobody else did, the world eventually had no choice but to see it too. That's what you got to understand about your life. If you don't see it for yourself, don't expect anybody else to. It's not their job to see it. It's not their job to see it. It's not their job to believe it. It's not their job to carry it. It's your job. Your vision is your responsibility. Nobody's going to chase it for you. Nobody's going to lose sleep for it but you. Nobody's going to sacrifice for it but you. That's why you can't let other people's opinions shake you. You can't let their doubts discourage you. You can't let their limited imagination become your limitation. Some of you are stuck right now because you keep trying to explain your vision to people who were never meant to understand it. You keep trying to drag people along who don't have the faith to walk with you. You keep waiting for approval from people who don't even believe in themselves. And you wonder why your dream feels heavy. Stop carrying dead weight. Stop waiting for them to see what you see. Stop letting their blindness block your sight. You got to move with or without them. You got to trust your vision enough to run alone if you have to. And let me be real with you. Your vision is going to cost you. It's going to cost you relationships. It's going to cost you sleep. It's going to cost you comfort. It's going to cost you being misunderstood. But that's the price of vision. Because vision is not cheap. Dreams are not cheap. They demand sacrifice. They demand focus. They demand that you walk by faith and not by sight. Because half the time you won't even see the full picture yourself. You'll just have glimpses, pieces, flashes of what could be. And you'll have to trust that those flashes are enough to keep going when the world tells you you're crazy. Your vision is not theirs, so don't try to hand it to them. Don't try to outsource it. Don't try to delegate it. Own it, protect it, guard it, nurture it. Because if you don't, they'll tear it down before it has a chance to grow. People will project their fears onto you. They'll project their failures onto you. They'll tell you it can't be done because they couldn't do it. But just because they couldn't doesn't mean you can't. Just because they didn't doesn't mean you won't. That's why you can't let their lack of vision cloud your sight. Think about Noah. God gave Noah a vision of a flood, told him to build an ark. Do you think everybody around Noah believed him? No, they mocked him. They laughed at him. They said he was wasting his time. But Noah kept building. He kept working. He stayed committed to his vision. And when the rain finally came, everybody else saw what Noah had been seeing the whole time. That's what it's like when you walk in vision. You're going to look crazy until the rain comes. You're going to look upset until the dream shows up. You're going to look alone until the breakthrough happens. But you can't get caught up in appearances. You can't get caught up in what people say. You got to stay locked in on what you saw. You got to keep grinding for what you believe. You've got to remind yourself daily, my vision is not theirs. They don't need to see it. They don't need to understand it. They don't need to approve it. All they'll need to do is witness it when it's real. And let me tell you something else. Your vision is bigger than you. It's not just about your success, your money, your recognition. Your vision is about impact. Your vision is about legacy. Your vision is about breaking chains for your family, for your community, for the next generation. That's why it feels so heavy. That's why it scares you sometimes. Because it's not just about you. And the bigger the vision, the less people will understand it. Don't let that scare you. Let it confirm you. Let it confirm that you're carrying something worth fighting for, worth grinding for, worth sacrificing for. So what do you do when they don't believe in your vision? You grind anyway. You plan anyway. You plan anyway. You pray anyway. You show up anyway. You put the bricks down one by one, day after day, until what you saw in your mind becomes something they can touch with their hand. And when that day comes, when the vision becomes reality, the same people who doubted you will be the ones asking how you did it. And you won't even need to explain. You'll just point to the work, point to the results, point to the grind. That's the beauty of vision. It doesn't need permission. It needs persistence. It doesn't need validation. it needs execution. And if you're bold enough to trust what you see, if you're disciplined enough to stay focused when nobody else is, if you're relentless enough to keep pushing when everybody else quits, your vision will come alive. And when it does, the world will finally see what you've been seeing all along. They laughed at you. They doubted you. They told you it couldn't be done. They whispered behind your back. And some of them didn't even whisper, they said it loud to your face. You'll never make it. You don't have what it takes. You're not built for this. They told you that your dream was too big, that your goals were too far out of reach, that you should just settle for average, settle for less, settle for what everyone else is doing. And you sat there and you took it. You felt the sting of those words. You felt the fire inside your chest, that anger, that pain, that frustration. And I'm telling you right now, you don't fight that with words. You don't fight that with arguments. You don't fight that by clapping back. Screaming or proving a point on social media, you fight it with success. Success is the best revenge. You see, people expect you to quit. They expect you to fold. They expect you to get so discouraged that you stop chasing the dream. That's what they want. Because when you quit, when you give up, when you sit down and accept mediocrity, you've proved them right. But when you keep going, when you grind harder, when you sacrifice more, when you stay locked in, day after day after day after day, and you finally get to the mountaintop, when you finally reach that level they said you could never touch, that's the moment the revenge is complete. Because nothing stings a hater more than seeing you shine. Nothing crushes a critic more than watching you win after they told you it couldn't be done. Let me break it down to you. Revenge through anger is temporary. Revenge through success is eternal. When you go back and forth with people, you might win the argument, but you'll lose the energy. Yep. You'll lose the focus. You'll waste time proving a point in words when you should be proving in results. But when you stay disciplined, when you stay quiet and locked in, and you let your work speak for itself, you'll make more noise with your success than you ever could with your mouth. The truth is, you don't need to tell them you're gonna do it. You don't need to convince them. You don't need to argue with them. Don't need to respond to them. You need to keep your head down, stay on your grind, and let the results scream so loud they can't ignore you. Because when the success comes, when the fruits of your labor show up, it shuts everybody up. They have nothing left to say. And that silence, that's the sweetest revenge of all. Think about it. When Michael Jordan got cut from his high school basketball team, he didn't spend his energy cursing out the coach, telling everybody how wrong they were. He went into the gym. He went into the lab. He worked, he pushed, he sacrificed. And years later, not only did he make the team, not only did he make it to the NBA, but he became the greatest to ever do it. His success was the answer. His success was the clapback. His success was the clapback. His success was the revenge. That's what you got to understand. Your pain is few. Every doubt, every criticism, every you can is gasoline. And you can either waste that gasoline lighting fires of anger and bitterness, or you can pour it into your engine and let it drive you further than anybody thought you could go. That's the choice. You can let their words destroy you, or you can let their words develop you. You can let their doubt crush you, or you can let their doubt create the monster that's unstoppable. See, here's the thing. When you use success as revenge, you're not stooping to their level. You're not fighting on their terms. You're rising above it. You're saying, I don't need to drag you down to prove I'm strong. I'll lift myself up and let you watch. And that's a different type of victory. That's a victory that doesn't just prove them wrong, it validates you. It reminds you that you had it in you the whole time, even when they couldn't see it. Some of you are wasting too much time trying to be understood. Too much time trying to make people like you accept you, respect you. Stop. Respect isn't given through begging, it's earned through building. You don't need to sit around convincing people of your worth. You need to work so hard. You need to grind so consistently. You need to shine so bright that they can't deny your worth even if they want to. You need to be undeniable. That's what success does. It makes you undeniable. And let's be real. When you win, you don't even have to say, I told you so. The results say it for you. The new house says it. The degree says it. The business you build says it. The family you take care of says it. The lives you impact say it. That's revenge without bitterness. That's revenge without pettiness. That's revenge that inspires people. Because here's the twist. Not only does your success silence the haters, but it gives hope to the watchers. The ones who doubted quietly, the ones who thought maybe it couldn't be done, the ones who didn't have the courage to chase their own dream. You become proof to them that's possible. But don't get it twisted. This kind of revenge isn't easy. It's not overnight. Success is hard. Success takes years. Success takes discipline. Success takes the kind of consistency most people aren't willing to give. That's why it's the best revenge, because most people don't have the patience to see it through. They quit before the payoff. They give up before the breakthrough. But if you can endure, if you can push, if you can outlast the criticism, outlast the pain, outlast the setbacks, your success will not only be sweet, it will be a testimony. Let me tell you something. Your revenge is not in clapping back. Your revenge is in living a life so great they can't ignore it. Your revenge is waking up in the house they said you'd never afford, driving a car they said you'd never have, walking across the stage they said you'd never reach, building a business they said would never work. Your revenge is freedom. Your revenge is joy. Your revenge is peace. Because while they were hating, while they were talking, while they were gossiping, you were working, and now you're reaping. That's how you win. That's how you get the last laugh. So the next time somebody tells you you can't, don't waste your breath arguing. Don't waste your energy proving it today. Just smile, lock in, and say to yourself, oh, watch me. Don't announce it. Demonstrate it. Don't talk about it. Be about it. Don't try to win the moment. Win the marathon. Because when you finish the race, when you cross that line, when you stand on the other side of your dream, there's nothing left for them to say. That's why success is the best revenge. It's clean. It's permanent. It's undeniable. They can try to ignore you, but they can't ignore the evidence. They can try to dismiss you, but they can't dismiss the results. They can try to deny your greatness, but they can't deny the fruits of your grind. And at the end of the day, when they're still talking and you're still winning, you'll realize you never needed to fight them in the first place. Your victory is the fight. Your results are the proof. Your success is the revenge. You might be down right now, but you're not done. You might feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, but you're not finished. You might feel like the chapter you're living in is ugly, painful, messy, but listen to me, the story isn't over yet. Don't confuse a chapter with the entire book. Don't confuse a season with the whole journey. Where you are right now is not where you're going to end up. This isn't the final scene. This isn't the last page. This isn't how your story ends. The problem with so many of us is we want the success without the struggle, the victory without the valley, the triumph without the test. But every great story has conflict. Every great story has obstacles. Every great story has moments where the hero looks like they're about to lose. And then, out of nowhere, the comeback happens. The breakthrough comes. The shift takes place. That's what makes the story worth telling. The fight, the perseverance, the resilience, the refusal to quit. Without the pain, there's no power. Without the setback, there's no comeback. Without the test, there's no testimony. Some of you right now are living in the middle of the story. You're in the darkest chapter. And because you can't see the ending, you think it's over. You're looking at the failures, the mistakes, the disappointments, and you're convincing yourself that this is all there is. But I need you to hear me. The author hasn't finished writing yet. The pen is still in motion. Your life is still unfolding. And as long as you're still breathing, your story is still being written. I know you failed. I know you've made mistakes. I know you've been through heartbreak, loss, rejection, defeat. But failure doesn't mean finish. Defeat doesn't mean done. Struggle doesn't mean stop. It means you've got another page to turn. It means you got another lesson to learn. It means you got another chance to grow, another opportunity to rise, another moment to show the world what you're made of. Look at every legend you admire. Look at every champion you celebrate. They all had moments where it looked like the story was over. Michael Jordan got cut from his high school basketball team. Oprah was told she wasn't fit for television. Walt Disney was fired for lacking creativity. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before creating the light bulb. Each of them could have stopped right there and accepted chapter as the end. But they did. They turned the page. They kept writing. They kept fighting. And because they did, the ending of their story looks nothing like the middle. And that's the power of refusing to quit. You get to decide how the story ends. Nobody else. Not the critics. Not the doubters, not the failures, not the setbacks, you. As long as you keep turning the page, as long as you keep showing up, as long as you keep grinding, the story can still shift. The same hands that wrote the chapters of pain can write the chapters of victory. The same life that gave you struggle can give you success. The same heart that's been broken can heal and be stronger than ever. You gotta stop acting like where you are is permanent. It's not. It's temporary. Pain is temporary. Struggle is temporary. Rejection is temporary. But quitting, that's permanent. Giving up, that's how you lock in the ending before it's supposed to be finished. Don't quit in the middle of the book. Don't close it before you reach the breakthrough. Don't let one season define your entire life. I need you to see yourself like a fighter in the ring. You got knocked down. That doesn't mean the fight is over. As long as you can breathe, as long as you can stand, as long as you can get back up before the count hits 10, you still got a chance. You still got a punch left in you. You still got the ability to turn it around. It doesn't matter how bad the last round was. It matters what you do in the next one. Some of you think your story is too broken, too messy, too far gone. But let me remind you, some of the most powerful stories are the ones that started in the dirt, in the darkness, in the lowest places imaginable. Nobody cares about a perfect story. People care about the one who fell, who failed, who broke, but still found a way to rise. That's the story that inspires. That's the story that changes lives. That's the story that shows people it's possible. And that can be your story. If you don't stop here, you got to stop looking at your scars like they're proof you're weak. They are not. They're proof you survived. They're proof you kept going when most people. And the same resilience that got you through the last storm is the same resilience that's going to carry you through the next one. The scars are not the end. They're reminders that you made it through and you got more fight in you for what's ahead. Listen, I get it. Life is hard. The weight feels unbearable sometimes. The pain feels like it's too much. But you're stronger than you think you are. You're tougher than you give yourself credit for. You've already survived things you thought were going to break you. You've already made it through nights you thought would never end. You've already conquered battles you thought were impossible. And if you could survive that, why in the world would you think you can't survive this? Your story isn't over yet. Don't let depression tell you it's over. Don't let anxiety tell you it's over. Don't let failure tell you it's over. Don't let rejection tell you it's over. As long as you got breath in your lungs, as long as you got blood in your veins, as long as you got strength in your body, you got another chance. You got another chapter waiting to be written. So don't you dare put the pen down. Don't you dare close the book. Don't you dare stop now. This pain you're feeling, this valley you're walking through is just a setup for the breakthrough that's coming. It's just a storm clearing the way for the sunshine that's on its way. It's just a plot twist that's going to make the ending even sweeter. You can't see it now, but when the pages turn, when the story unfolds, you'll look back and realize it all had a purpose. You are not finished. You are not done. You are not defeated. You are still here. And because you're still here, there's still more for you. More joy, more love, more peace, more success, more victories, more breakthroughs. Don't give up in the middle. Don't let this chapter trick you into thinking the story is over. It's not. You got more to live, more to do, more to become. The best chapters of your story haven't even been written yet.